In the last section, we have pretty much finished all of the product page, including the custom drop-down select menu, which looks very nice and polished compared to just the default one provided with HTML. And then we can add to cart, but the cart doesn't open right away. So that's something we'll finish right now. Then the other piece is the empty state, which looks pretty nice, but the way that we want it to look is like this. So let's go ahead and finish these up quickly, and then we'll jump right into the home page. So let's jump back inside of our application.scss, and just below, we'll add a cart empty class. And then inside of the cart empty class, we can add opacity, and we'll say 0.2. And then padding on top will be 42 pixels, and font size, we want it to be a bit large, so we'll say 24 pixels. And then line height, we'll give it 1.5. So let's go ahead and save that. And now let's jump into the add to cart form. Inside of the add to cart form, what we want to do is trigger our mini cart whenever we actually add something to the cart. So we can do this by creating a second .then statement. And then we'll just pass it an empty object there. And we'll say toggle mini cart dot open cart. And this is just straight from our application.js, so we don't need to do anything special here. So let's just save that and take a look at our finished product. Now, if we add to cart, the cart opens right away. And then if we remove the item, we can see that the empty state looks very nice and clean. One thing as a next step that you can do here is for the empty state, you can add some products so that the person can easily add some products to the cart if their cart is empty. So now we can just close this, and it looks very nice and clean, and it's very smooth. And then if we add different items, they appear right away. And then we can change the quantity, and the quantity updates our subtotal. All right, that's perfect. So the product page and the cart look amazing. So let's go ahead inside of our homepage now, and we'll start dealing with some of these sections that we have here. So if we go back inside of our example site, we can close this and open the homepage. And we can see that we have the hero image, then we have a section with text, then we have an image with text, and this section is reversible, so we can basically change where the image and the text is. And then we have another hero image and a rich text section. So we're actually going to be adding one more section to this collection here, and that's going to utilize blocks. And I'm going to be talking about blocks a little bit later in the section, which are a very important part of Shopify because it allows us to add parts of the section dynamically. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. But for now, let's go ahead and finish up our hero image that we already have right here. So let's go back inside of our application.scss, and we can actually close the add to cart form and the header and the mini cart and the application.js for now. And let's just minimize some of these. And we can just go down here and we can say start hero image, or we can actually call it start hero section. And if you remember, inside of our sections, we have this hero section created. And let's go ahead and open that. And we can see that we have a class name of hero image and then the schema. So it's a very simple section. So let's go ahead inside of our application.scss. And we can just select the hero image class. And actually just above this, let's also target our section class. And we can just type in section. And then inside of here, we'll add a padding of 25 pixels all around the section. And we will actually move this to our presets just up at the top. And we'll just put it all the way down here. And then let's also add a preset for the images. So let's say image, picture, and SVG. We just want these to be max width of 100%. And then vertical align will also say middle. And so let's save that. And we just added these two new presets here. Now let's go all the way back to the bottom. And now let's go ahead and check what that did to our image. And there we go. So basically, the max width for the image, just put it into place. So it's only going to take up maximum 100% of the website width. But now let's go ahead and style the mobile version as well. So right now, if we go into mobile view, we can see that not only does the card not work properly yet, but the hero image is also not finished. So let's just add that as well. And we can add and include for the phone. And we can say height to be 270 pixels. And then also inside of the include, we'll target the image. And we'll say height 100% and object fit cover. Perfect. And now the image is better, but we'll deal with the cart just a little bit later in the next section when we're going to make sure that everything works for the phone. So let's get out of this right now. And this is working. Perfect. So we can actually just change this image to the one that we have inside of our example website. So let's go ahead and click customize and click on the hero image and choose the image from our example website. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to change it. All right, perfect. And let's go ahead and create our rich text section now, which will look like this. Inside of our sections folder, go ahead and create a new file, and we'll call this file rich text. Now inside of the rich text, we will create a new div with the class name of rich text, and then we will also add the class name of section. Now inside of the div, we'll have an h2 with a class name of heading. And then just underneath that, we'll have another div with a class name of center. And then we'll also add a class name of padding top. Perfect. So we created these placeholders. And for this one, actually, we'll output some liquid. And we'll say section.settings.title. So we need to create a title ID. And then for this one, we'll have section.settings.text. And then just at the bottom, we'll create schema tags. And then inside of the schema tags, we'll have a name item. And then the name will be rich text. And then we'll create a setting. And the settings will be an array. And then let's create an object inside of that array. And the first object will be type. And the type will be text. And then we'll create an ID. The ID will be title. and we'll have a label, and the label will say a heading, and then we'll create a default as well. And the default value will be section heading. So this is the value that's going to appear when we first create that section. And we can just copy paste all of that. And here we'll say we want this to be rich text. And rich text will allow you to basically bold the text and also create italics for it. And then this will be text. And for the heading, we'll change this to description. And then for the default value, we actually need to put this inside of p tags for our rich text. And we can just say write your description here. And then the last thing that we need to do is add presets. And the presets will also be an array. And the presets array is an object as well. And it needs a name. And then it needs a category. And the category will just say text. Okay, perfect. So we get an error saying unknown tag, and that's because it gave us 2 of these. So we can just go ahead and remove these ones. And now if we save, everything is good. And let's go back inside of our website, refresh this customizer here. And let's add the section. And now we can see that we have a new section called rich text. And let's click on that. And we can see here that for the rich text section, we actually have a bold option, an italic option, and insert a link. But as we can see here, it's not styled very well. So let's just save this. And let's go ahead and style this section. Back inside of our application.scss, we can say start rich text section. And for the rich text section, we created a few classes. The first one is rich text, section heading center, and padding top. So we can go ahead and say heading, and the heading will be font size of 30 pixels. And then we can also create another class name here called center. And we'll just say we want to align text to be center. And so we'll say padding top as well. And the padding top will be, well, padding top, and then we'll say 24 pixels, or we'll give it 25 pixels. So I know this is kind of redundant for now, but I just want to show you that creating these kind of class names can be very useful, and it's a really good practice when building very large custom Shopify themes. So for now, for us, it's not that useful, but if you're going to extend on this theme, you can definitely use these class names. And then over here, we can also add a center class name. And let's save this as well. And we'll go back to our website and let's go ahead and refresh. And we can see that this is styled properly now. If we add more text, we'll see how it looks. So let's go ahead and add this text here. And actually, this should refresh. Yep, there we go. And then we can go to the description and also add a description there. And it looks exactly the way we want it to. Perfect. So let's go into the next lecture now, where we're going to take a look at this image with text, which is one of the most popular sections in pretty much any website you'll open right now. So I'll see you in the next lecture.